Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture 2, Effects of Negative Feedback Amplifier. In the last lecture, we discussed feedback amplifiers, introduction to feedback amplifiers, where we discussed feedback amplifier is simply an amplifier which uses the feedback principle, is what is called the feedback amplifiers. And we also discussed there are two types of feedback, one is positive feedback and another one is negative feedback. If I have a negative feedback means your input signal and the feedback signal both are out of phase, and positive feedback means input signal and feedback signal both are in phase. If I apply in phase signal, then your input side signal becomes increased. Once your input side signal increased, automatically your output side signal also will be increased. And if I apply negative feedback, then your input side signal becomes reduced because of this negative feedback signal, so that your output side is also reduced. And also we discussed your positive feedback makes an amplifier circuit into an oscillator, and similarly in negative feedback amplifier we discussed your gain of a negative feedback amplifier is completely depends on a factor 1 by beta. AVF gain with the feedback for negative feedback is completely depends on 1 by beta, which means there is any variation in the parameter or temperature or aging of a component, it does not affect your gain because it completely depends on only the feedback factor beta. So we discussed your negative feedback which provides high stability to the amplifier circuit, right? And today we will discuss what are the advantages or effects of negative feedback. In an amplifier circuit, if I apply a negative feedback, then what are the advantages will I have, right? So these are the advantages or effects of negative feedback in the amplifier circuit. First one is increased stability or gain stability. Second, increased bandwidth, less distortion, decreased noise, and input and output impedance can be modified as our design. We will discuss one by one. So first, increased stability. As I said, your negative feedback amplifier is completely depends on 1 by beta. So it provides high stability in the amplifier circuit. So if there is any variation in the parameter or aging or temperature, we don't bother about this. Because of this beta, it reduces everything. And we also find that AVF is equal to AV divided by 1 plus AV beta. So gain with feedback is equal to AV divided by 1 plus AV beta. So this AV is nothing but amplifier's original gain without feedback. And your negative feedback is equal to open loop gain or gain without feedback divided by 1 plus AV beta. Actually what it shows that this 1 plus AV beta factor is divided over here, which means your gain AV now divided by this factor. So what will happen if something is there in the denominator? Surely this gain value becomes less in the left hand side, which means this AVF is small when compared to this AV, right? So there is a reduction in the gain because of this 1 plus AV beta in the denominator, right? And how your feedback gain varies with respect to your original gain or open loop gain AV. So let us differentiate this. DAVF divided by AV is equal to, so this becomes U by V method. So 1 plus AV beta into V dash is equal to 1 minus U V dash is equal to 0 plus differentiation of 1 is 0 plus AV is equal to 1 now and into beta. You will get this term and divided by V squared 1 plus AV beta whole square. And this AV beta gets cancelled So you will get 1 by 1 plus AV beta whole square is equal to dAVF by AV, right? And you rearrange this equation so that I can have dAVF is equal to AV divided by dAV differentiate with respect to AV, right? So dAV divided by 1 plus AV beta whole square. And for mathematical calculation, divide this by AVF both the sides. So you get dAVF divided by AVF is equal to dAV divided by AVF into 1 by 1 plus AV beta whole square. And we know AVF, we just found AVF is equal to AV divided by 1 plus AV beta. Gain with the feedback is equal to gain without feedback divided by the feedback factor 1 plus AV beta. So substitute that value. So dAV divided by this value AV by 1 plus AV beta into 1 by 1 plus AV beta whole square. And 1 AV beta gets cancelled, so that we will get dAV by AV into 1 by 1 plus AV beta is equal to dAVF by AVF. Finally, we will get this term, and 1 plus AV beta is equal to dAVF by AVF, and divided by, bring this term to this side, so that we will get dAV by AV, right? And instead of this, we replace term S equal to dAVF by AVF divided by dAV by AV. So actually, what is this dAV by AVF? So dAV by AVF is nothing but fractional change of voltage gain with the feedback, and this is fractional change of voltage gain without feedback. And this ratio is what is called sensitivity S. We come to this location. So actually, what it means, the fractional change of gain with the feedback is equal to fractional change of gain without feedback is divided by this term 1 plus AV beta, right? So again, the change in the feedback gain is equal to gain change in the open loop gain divided by 1 plus AV beta, right? So it means the fractional change, for example, if there is any variation because of the temperature in gain, right, and that variation is divided by 1 plus AV beta, so automatically the variation becomes small in dAV by AVF, which means in feedback amplifier your variation or the fractional change is small when compared to the open loop gain, because of this factor 1 plus AV beta is dividing this term, or multiplication of 1 by 1 plus AV beta. Let us do some problem from this equation so that you can get a clear idea about this equation. But now you just try to understand that your gain is completely depends on the factor beta. So there is any variation because of the components are aging, it doesn't affect your gain, right? And the fractional change in voltage gain with the feedback is equal to the fractional change without feedback divided by the factor 1 plus AV beta. And it is obvious, if something is increasing in feedback amplifier is because of the same factor 1 plus AV beta. If something is reduced, it is also because of the same factor 1 plus AV beta. You can see over here, your normal gain AVF is equal to AV divided by 1 plus AV beta. So this AV is divided by this term, so that this term becomes reduced. So if something reduced, it's because of this factor, and reducing means it is in the denominator, and if it is increasing, something is increasing means it is in the numerator side or multiplication of that particular term. Say for example some variable x into this term. Clear? So if something is increased, it is also because of 1 plus AV beta. If something is reduced, it is also because of this 1 plus AV beta. But here your gain in the negative feedback amplifier is reduced because of this 1 plus AV beta, because AVF is equal to, we have found AV divided by 1 plus AV beta in the previous lecture. So your gain of feedback amplifier is reduced, but it has high stability. It doesn't vary that much, right? And that factor is what is called the sensitivity S, equal to fractional change of voltage gain with the feedback divided by fractional change of voltage gain without feedback. And this is sensitivity, and desensitivity means just opposite. Desensitivity is equal to 1 by S is equal to 1 plus AV beta. It is simple. Clear? Right. And the next one, increased bandwidth. That is your second advantage of your negative feedback. Increased bandwidth. So bandwidth is nothing but upper cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency. We usually do bandwidth is equal to F2 minus F1, right? And how your negative feedback increases your bandwidth. Let us take a frequency and gain graph, and this is your gain, and the frequency response of an amplifier will be looking like this. This is your AV, gain without feedback, right? And what will happen on the gain with the feedback, as I said earlier, that your gain is reduced because of the negative feedback factor beta, especially the term 1 plus AV beta. So if gain is reduced, in the sense, soon it attains the maximum location, which means, for example, it reaches to the maximum position very soon. So it goes like this, something like this. So your AV gain is here, but AVF is smaller than your AV because of AV by 1 plus AV beta is equal to AVF. Now let us take a bandwidth of both the response. This is your normal bandwidth without feedback, and you see here, let us assume bandwidth dash, F1 dash, F2 dash, this is F2 normal, this is F2. So this gives you the bandwidth from this location to this location, but your negative feedback factor, which brings down your gain from here to here. And if you do draw the 3 dB graph, you will get a frequency response like this, right? your maximum location comes down, or the gain comes down from here to here. So your frequency, our lower cutoff frequency, is reduced from f1 to f1 dash, and upper cutoff frequency is increased from f2 to f2 dash. This is reduced and this is increased. So what will happen? Just look at this graph. Your bandwidth dash is higher than your bandwidth. So this bandwidth we draw for AVF, and this small bandwidth is for AV. So your negative feedback amplifier increases the bandwidth of your amplifier. Clear? So your bandwidth dash is equal to f2 dash minus f1 dash. And what is f2 dash is equal to your f2 is increased from this point to this point. So f2 into 1 plus AV beta, and f1 dash is reduced from this location to this location. Your frequency value is reduced from here to here. So f1 divided by 1 plus AV beta. That's it. Clear? Your upper cutoff frequency is increased because of this factor, and lower cutoff frequency is reduced because of the same factor. f2 into 1 plus AV beta, and if it is reduced means f1 divided by 1 plus AV beta. But one thing is clear, the multiplication of your bandwidth into your gain AV is equal to bandwidth dash into AVF. This is how. We know your bandwidth is increasing in the negative feedback amplifier, but gain AVF is reduced. If some amount of bandwidth is increased, then the same amount of gain is reduced. So what will happen? This bandwidth is increased here, but this gain is reduced here. So both the values are getting compensation. So what will happen? The multiplication of bandwidth into gain is equal to bandwidth dash into AVF, feedback gain. So the multiplication of both is always equal because of the increment in bandwidth and decrement in the gain in the feedback. Clear? So this is your second advantage, increased bandwidth because of this negative feedback amplifier. And likewise, one can say distortion also can be reduced by using the negative feedback. Let me demonstrate that. Distortion. Let us assume distortion D dash equal to original distortion divided by 1 plus AV beta, the same factor. For example, if you apply a large signal to the input of an amplifier, what will happen? Your output side also becomes increased. But once it crosses the active region, what will happen? You'll be getting clipped. So there is a distortion always in the normal amplifier circuit if I apply a large signal. But here is the interesting thing comes. Your negative feedback amplifier reduces the input signal. So though there is an input signal is high, your output is always in the active region. Do you get what I am saying? If there is an increment in the input side, then that is reduced by a factor 1 plus AV beta because of the negative feedback amplifier. So your transistor is always in the active region, it doesn't go to the saturation region because of the increment in the input side signal. This is also applicable for noise also. If there is any increment in the noise because of the active devices we use in the amplifier circuit, that also reduced by using the same factor 1 plus AV beta because of the feedback. Your feedback reduces the input signal, so your transistor always in the active region, it doesn't go to the saturation region. So your noise is also reduced Say for example, let us assume n divided by 1 plus AV beta. Noise is also same as your distortion, right? And these two are also one of the most important advantages of your negative feedback amplifiers. And input and output impedance can be modified as our desire. Input and output impedance can be modified. So usually a normal amplifier should have high input impedance and low output impedance. And for some applications, this impedance can be should be changed. So for that purpose also, we can use the negative feedback to change the input and output impedance. When we come to the practical circuits, let me show you how your negative feedback amplifier reduces or increases your input and output impedances. But one thing is clear, if something is increased in the negative feedback, it is because of 1 plus AV beta multiplied with that particular term. If something is reduced in the negative feedback, the same 1 plus AV beta is now divided by that term. This is one thing and this is another thing. This is for increasing and this is for reducing. But everything happens only because of this 1 plus AV beta term. Clear? So these are the advantages of, main advantages of negative feedback amplifiers. And we have discussed theoretically and we solved some equations. But if we take some problem, then we'll get some clear idea, because your problems are just proof for your theory. So let us take 2 to 3 problem to see how your gain is reducing, and if there is any variation because of the temperature, how your negative feedback amplifier will rescue the amplifier stability, everything by using some 2 to 3 problems, small problems, right? Let me read out the problem, you just note down. First problem, voltage gain of an amplifier without feedback is 400. If the feedback ratio is equal to 0.1, find the voltage gain of an amplifier with negative feedback, right? So in the given problem, we have 400 without feedback. So without feedback means simply AV is equal to 400. This is given data. And also they have given feedback ratio is equal to 0.1. So feedback ratio is equal to 0.1. So this 0.1 which mentions, or we can write the same in terms of percentage, is 10%. 0.1 is nothing but 10 by 100 or 10%, isn't it? Which means we have applied 10% of your output signal to the input side with negative phase or opposite phase. Now what will happen on the gain with the feedback? So we know the formula, AVF is equal to AV divided by 1 plus AV beta, and AV is given 400 divided by 1 plus 400 into beta given 0.1, right? And by solving this, you'll get 400 divided by 1 plus 400 into 0.1, it is equal to 40. And if you cancel 400 divided by 41, you'll get 9.76. This is your AVF, gain with feedback. So from this, what I'm coming to say, your original gain without feedback is 400, but after applying 10% of your negative feedback, then your gain reduced to 9.76 for 10% of feedback signal. Clear? But it happens because of this factor, right? And let us take some other problem. If I have some amplifier gain, and if I want to reduce that value to some other value, then how much feedback should I give to reduce the gain from some point to some point? That is your second problem. Please note, if an amplifier has voltage gain 1000 with negative feedback, the voltage gain reduced to 10, calculate the percentage of feedback to be applied. Right? If an amplifier has voltage gain 1000 with negative feedback, the voltage gain is reduced to 10, and calculate the percentage of feedback to be applied. So in this problem, we have been given AV is equal to 1000 and AVF is 10. From 1000 to 10, the reduction from 1000 to 10, then how much percentage of feedback I have to apply to get this 10 value? So it is also same, by using the same formula, AVF is equal to AV divided by 1 plus AV beta, and substitute all the values. AVF is 10 is equal to 1000 divided by 1 plus 1000 beta, and rearrange the equation. So 10 1 plus 1000 beta is equal to 1000 by 10. So this is equal to 100. So 1 plus 1000 beta is equal to 100, and beta is equal to 100 minus 1. Am I right? And beta is equal to 99 by 1000, which is equal to 0.9. Is it right? Right. So beta is equal to 9, or in terms of percentage, you can write this 9.9%. Clear? So to get reduction from 1000 to 10, I have to apply 9.9% of the output signal with negative feedback, so that I can get a reduction from 1000 to 10. Right? So beta is equal to 9.9%. Right, let us take another problem. I told you that your negative feedback amplifier has less gain fractional change. Though there is a big change in the gain without feedback, your gain of feedback amplifier changes very little. Let me show that by seeing some problem. Please note down. an amplifier has open loop gain of 800 and feedback ratio is 0.05. If the open loop gain changes by 10% due to temperature, find the percentage change in closed loop gain. Right? So which formula we have to use to find this? They have given open loop gain AV and feedback factor 0.05, and your open loop gain changes by 10%, which means dAV by AV is equal to 10% because of the temperature, right? And we also have been given AV is equal to 800 and beta is equal to 0.05, and we have to find out percentage change in the closed loop gain, and we know the formula: fractional change or percentage change is equal to AV divided by AVF is equal to dAV by AV into 1 by 1 plus beta AV. Substitute all the values. It is 10 into 1 by 1 plus beta is equal to 0.05 and AV is 800. And by solving this, you will get the answer 0.24% is equal to AVF by AV. So from this I am coming to say that though there is a change in the gain because of the temperature is 10%, and because of the negative feedback we have changed only 0.24% from the gain, right? So open loop amplifier gain varies from the maximum location to 10%, but in the negative feedback your maximum gain is varies only 0.24%. Usually we can neglect this value, isn't it? So we can say it brings high stability on the gain. Clear? And you can see one more thing. This is your 10% change, and that 10% change is also divided by this 1 plus beta AV term in the negative feedback. Again I am saying that this reduces the fractional change in the feedback amplifier. So lot of advantages are there in the feedback amplifier. So in normal audio amplifier system we can use this feedback principle to obtain a lot of advantages like high gain stability, increased bandwidth. You can modify the input and output impedances. You can reduce the noise, distortion, everything. And not only that, your feedback amplifier is completely depends on the beta value. So whatever changes come, it doesn't matter. It brings you a very high stability, and we have a proof from this problem, right? And in the next lecture, we will discuss some feedback amplifiers. So till now we discussed only the negative feedback. So how your negative feedback amplifier brings some advantages in the audio system or audio amplifier. But in the next lecture we will discuss types of feedback amplifiers, and we will compare classification of amplifiers with feedback amplifiers, and how to apply a feedback from the output side to input side, and whether we can apply as a current or voltage, or we can draw feedback as a current or voltage. Everything we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.